I think it's incredibly important when the government says it's going to do something, or when somebody in politics says they're going to do something, that they follow through. And if they suddenly find themselves in a position of power and then don't follow through, you've got to know why. Why is that? So the promises made to the Waspy women. Let's listen to this interjection by a DUP
How long are we going to have this government giving the
MP.
excuse that they can't do things because the last lot didn't do them? Will the minister remember, she is now in government. When she was in opposition, she campaigned, and other members of her party campaigned for Waspi women. And the facts haven't changed. Administratively, there were mistakes made. Financially, there's still an impact. And now the ombudsman has found in favour. And she can't hide behind this, we have no money. We've just had the Secretary of State for Energy in the last session of questions, boasting that he's bunging billions of pounds to power companies, and yet at the same time we can't honour the commitments we have to people who were wrongly treated in the pension system.
The same thing is also true, incidentally, about the commitments made to paying people from Windrush, the Infected Blood, Horizon, Grenfell, and so on. The rhetoric is one thing, following through and doing it is quite another. The Waspy Women in the UK are a campaign group formed to address the financial hardship caused by changes to the state's pension age for women born in the 1950s. These women were adversely affected by the 1995 and 2011 Pensions Act, which raised the state pension age for women from 60 to 65 and then to 66 in line with men. And the changes were implemented faster than anybody expected, leaving many women without adequate time to prepare financially for the delay in receiving their state pensions. Indeed, some of them stopped working and suddenly they were faced with this vacuum. Many women claim they were not given proper notice. They weren't properly informed about the changes and didn't have sufficient time to make alternative financial arrangements. The abrupt delay in pension payments caused significant financial difficulties, with some women unable to continue working because of ill health or caregiving responsibilities. And while the group supports equalising the pension age for men and women, they argue that the implementation was unfair and poorly communicated. Several politicians and public figures have in the past campaigned for the Waspy women over the years. Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor at the time, were vocal supporters, promising to compensate Waspy women during their time in opposition. The Scottish National Party has consistently supported the Waspy campaign. Figures like Ian Blackford raising the issue in Parliament, highlighting the unfair impact on Scottish women. The Lib Dems have also backed the Waspy women, calling for transitional arrangements and more equitable compensation. Caroline Lucas for the Green Party, long-standing advocate for the Waspy women, frequently raising their concerns in Parliament. Tim Lawton supported debates in Parliament on the Waspy issue and has pushed for reconsideration of how the changes were implemented. The Waspy group itself has been highly active, organising marches, petitions, legal challenges. They've filed complaints with the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, which found maladministration by the Department for Work and Pensions in failing to adequately notify affected women. The Waspy women pursued legal reviews, complaints, but the courts ruled against the claim that the changes were discriminatory. However, the PHSO's findings of maladministration have opened new avenues for potential compensation schemes. The Waspy women have run high-profile campaigns, including petitions, protests and media appearances, to raise awareness of their plight and push for compensation, and the issue remains contentious, with ongoing calls for the government to introduce transitional arrangements or compensational packages. However, successive governments have resisted significant reforms, citing financial implications. But, you know, it's if they've got money for one thing, why don't they have money for what they say they're going to do? The Waspy women symbolise a broader debate about fairness throughout our society and how governments manage transitions from one reform to another. And the present government is hell-bent on these knee-jerk transitions and then turning around and saying, oh, it's all the fault of the previous administration which didn't leave us enough money. It doesn't cut any ice, really, does it? It sounds as if they're passing the buck and just playing games. Playing games may be one thing in Westminster, but it's real people's lives elsewhere in the country.